You've probably been eyeballing a new scooter for a while now, wondering if any of them are actually reliable enough for a daily commute, easy enough to toss in the closet when you're not using it, and worth the cash you're about to drop. The fear most of us share is ending up with a flashy gadget that looks great on paper but turns into a constant hassle-dead batteries, a ride that feels more like a jolt than a glide, or a machine that can't survive a rainy morning on the way to work. That's the exact spot where the Segway Ninebot Max G3 tries to stake its claim. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent the last few weeks taking the Max G3 out for actual rides around my neighborhood, testing it on a mixed bag of streets, flat suburban sidewalks, a hilly commuter route, and the occasional pothole-ridden back road. What stood out right away was that the scooter is built around a 2,000-watt peak motor and a battery that promises up to 50 miles on a single charge. Those numbers look impressive, but the real test is how they translate when you're trying to get from point A to point B without constantly checking the display. First off, the ride feel. The dual hydraulic suspension isn't just a buzzword, it actually smooths out the bumps you'd normally feel on a city bike. On a typical morning commute with a few minor speed bumps and a 5% grade hill, the scooter kept me steady, and I never felt the sudden jolt that can make a ride uncomfortable or even unsafe. The larger 10-inch tires contribute to that stability, hugging the road and absorbing small debris without a wobble. For anyone who lives in a city with uneven pavement or who enjoys weekend rides through park trails, that suspension is a practical advantage. Battery life is another big selling point. The advertised 50-mile range is measured under ideal conditions: no headwinds, flat terrain, and a rider weighing around 150 pounds. In my everyday use, which includes a 12-mile round-trip commute plus a few extra stops, the scooter still hovered around the 45-mile mark before I felt the need to top it up. The quick charge capability is genuinely handy. Plugging the scooter into a standard 110-volt outlet gets you back to around 80% in about 2.5 hours. That means you can charge it overnight and still have a solid buffer for a long weekend ride without worrying about being stranded. Now, let's talk about the real-world drawbacks. The first is weight. At roughly 53 pounds, the Max G3 isn't exactly a featherlight companion when you need to carry it upstairs or load it into a trunk. You'll need either a ramp or some decent upper body strength to maneuver it into a car, which can be a deal-breaker for apartment dwellers who rely on elevators. Another practical concern is the scooter's size. The deck is fairly spacious, which is great for stability, but it also makes the scooter a bit larger when folded. Folding it down for storage takes a few seconds, and you'll need a decent amount of floor space. Think a corner of a garage or a small closet to keep it out of the way. If you're living in a tight studio, you might have to reconsider. The Max G3 also comes with a 28 mph top speed, which is tempting for those who want to zip through traffic quickly. In practice, most urban speed limits hover around 20 to 25 miles per hour, so you may rarely hit that top end unless you're on a longer, open road. The higher speed can be a safety factor too. It demands quicker reflexes and more confidence on the part of the rider. If you're a new rider or someone who's primarily using the scooter for short, low-speed trips, this extra horsepower might feel excessive. Who should buy it? If you're an adult or teen who needs a commuter-grade scooter that can handle a 10-mile-plus daily distance, tolerates a few hills, and you don't mind the occasional heavy lift, the Ninebot Max G3 is a solid choice. Its durability claims are backed up by a UL 2272 certification, which reassures you that the battery and electrical system meet safety standards, an essential factor if you plan to ride in mixed weather conditions. The scooter's robust build also means it can survive the occasional bump from curbside drops or a light rain shower without immediate degradation, making it a low-maintenance option for the long haul. On the flip side, if you're looking for a lightweight, ultra-compact scooter to toss into a subway station or you're on a shoestring budget, you might want to look elsewhere. The Max G3's price point reflects its higher power motor and long-range battery, but you'll be paying extra for those capabilities you might never fully utilize. Likewise, riders who prioritize a scooter that folds down to a near palm-size package for tight storage will find the Max's bulk a bit of a nuisance. A practical strength that isn't always highlighted is the scooter's effortless maneuvering claim. On city streets, the Max G3 feels surprisingly agile.